Hello there, lovers and friends. This is my top 3 reasons why I believe everyone, regardless of gender, needs to get pregnant and experience pregnancy and complete a pregnancy at least once in their lifetime. Now, before we dive into that list, let's take a little second to shout out the sponsor of this video, which is TULA. And TULA is TULA. TULA is a skincare and wellness brand that is formulated with probiotics and superfoods. The concept there is what you put into your body to feel good should not be massively different from what you put on your body to look great. And if you are interested in a product line like that, go to TULA.com and use my promo code SHANBOOTY if you like anything, because that's how you're gonna get 15% off your entire first order. Let's dive into the top 3 list, starting with the number 1 reason that I think that everyone should be pregnant at least once in their lifetime. And that is because it is important to know how you will act and behave when you have a precious life inside of you. Now, let me caveat before I go any further and say, when I say everyone needs to be pregnant, I don't necessarily mean with a baby. You could be pregnant with possibilities, pregnant with an intention that you want to set to deliver your higher self in the end. And the delivery is actually what the real important part of this is pregnancy is a period of time where you devote yourself to becoming the best and healthiest and most optimal version of yourself so that you can put out something great into the world. Now, I didn't get the notion of doing this until I was physically pregnant with a baby, but it was such an incredible masterclass for me on self-care, and I just want to share some of the lessons that I learned throughout with you. Now, I want to go back to that statement, what we do when we think that there is a precious life inside of us. When I was trying to conceive even, and I was preparing my body for a precious life, I made wellness and health changes that I didn't make for myself my entire life. Started drinking more water. All of a sudden, taking prenatals daily was not a thing for me. My entire life, I've struggled with remembering to take multivitamins, but all of a sudden, once I realized that I was gonna be putting myself in a position to grow a life, it wasn't a thing anymore. I also had issues with my hormones being out of whack. Later on, I learned that was massively linked to a lot of things for me, like fatigue midday and adult acne. But when I was trying to get pregnant, that was the first time that I got super intentional about trying to fix that. And I went on a hormonal supplement, saw my skin clear up, and then 6 months later was able to conceive a child. I ate better. I prioritized sleep. I prioritized kindness. And it was the most bizarre thing because I thought to myself,
haven't you had a precious life inside of you this entire time?
Why did it take for you to have the notion that someone else was coming out of you for you to care what goes in you? And I mean, I hyper cared. I threw out almost every nail polish that I had because I started to read more articles about, hey, what am I putting on my skin and how does that impact what goes into my bloodstream? And through this awareness, I learned so many ways that I was slowly poisoning my own body and just putting convenience and vanity over wellness. And at the end of the day, it's not as if making those changes diminished me in any way. It actually amplified me, and it wasn't that much more expensive. So I urge you to look at yourself and look at your habits right now and consider, if I was pregnant, what top 5 things am I doing that I would cut out immediately, and what is stopping me from doing that for myself today? The second thing, the reason I think everybody needs to get pregnant at least once in their lifetime, is I actually advocated for my needs in such a more intentional way. And anybody who has a kid probably knows this, that like it's a built-in excuse, and so is pregnancy. So if somebody asks me to go somewhere that I ultimately know like I really don't want to go and I don't have the time for it, being pregnant is like, oh, I can't, I get really tired by like 3 p.m. so I can't go. Or even if I was on the phone with somebody and the conversation was done and I wanted to move on with my day, usually I'd feel so guilty I would just stay on because it's a polite thing to do. But when I was pregnant, I was like, you know what? I actually am getting so exhausted, or I have to go for my midday walk. I'm gonna go lay down right now. I'm not feeling so well. Like, let's talk later. And through that, you would actually think that your relationships would diminish because you're not pushing yourself to the point of meeting people where their comfort level is. But the actual truth is you show up better in your relationships because you're present when you're present and you bounce when you're not. I've realized how many half-assed things I would do. I would go out to dinner with someone when I didn't want to and really not be the most engaging guest, or I'd be there and be engaging and then know I wanted to leave, but I'd stick it out and then the night would end kind of humdrum. But now when I actually started to advocate for my needs, what that really meant is I can be as great as I possibly can for you as long as I want to. And when I don't want to anymore, I leave. And as a result, you only get the best of me. Let me also just say that this principle literally is like the secret ingredient, surprisingly, to an incredible sex life. And I'll explain that, but first, let's show some more love to TULA. Can we take a little break to talk about something great? TULA Skincare was founded by Dr. Roshni Raj, who noticed that not only did her patients feel good on probiotics, but their skin looked healthy. And that's what TULA is all about. They focus on being healthy, not perfect, which means they're not using harsh chemicals that cut corners and put your face and those who touch it in harm's way.
So I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't really use skincare products because every time I do, my face breaks out. But TULA, it didn't happen. So I just want to say TULA has a lot of products, so you have to see what fits your needs. For me, it's the Cult Classic Purifying Face Cleanser and the 24/7 Moisture Hydrating Day and Night Cream.
For me, it's the Protect and Glow Daily Sunscreen Gel and the Face Filter Blurring and Moisturizing Primer. Like Jay said, they got tons of products you gotta go see for yourself at TULA.com. Then use my promo code SHAMBOOTY to get 15% off your entire TULA purchase. To be 100% clear, actual pregnancy sex has a ton of drawbacks, but the energy, the vibe behind pregnancy sex, that is the secret sauce that I think can make all of the difference. It's interesting because it actually goes against everything that we hear about how to be a good lover. Because we hear how to be a good lover is to be selfless, is to be a pleaser, is to care about the other person. And while that's great in many ways, I think that there's not enough dialogue about being a self-full lover and by prioritizing self through lovemaking. So when you are pregnant, you don't ever have sex when you don't want to and no one expects you to, number one. And two, you don't do positions or anything that makes you feel uncomfortable. Even if your partner gets off or gets joy out of it, you're like, I gotta prioritize this precious life, so no, I can't go for that. And interestingly enough, that actually led to better sex for both parties because one, I showed up more enthusiastically, and then my partner could feel that energy. And then through that mutual comfort, I think it just opened us up for more exploration. And then number two, I always ended sex being like, I wanted to do it and I enjoyed that experience, which thus incentivized me to want to do it again. I still haven't figured out the math on that because being a selfish lover actually makes sex better for everybody. But on the same token, being a selfish lover is probably the worst possible thing to be called as a sexual partner. But help me out in the comments section because honestly, yeah, it turned up the sex life. The last reason that I think everyone should get pregnant at least once in their lifetime is because you need to buy maternity bras and underwears. This one obviously is specifically for people who wear bras and who wear panties, but goddamn, they're so comfortable. My whole life, you know, my comfort days for bras are like sports bras, and my comfort day for underwear has been like menstruation panties, for lack of a better term. But the cut, this is how pregnancy panties are cut. It's not a band that goes all the way across, so it's not restricting. You never have any lines. It is somehow like wedgie proof the way that it's built, and it's designed to go underneath a belly, but everybody got a belly. So why would I want a band that goes across it? Like, I purchased so many of these after I was pregnant in my, you know, my non-pregnancy size because I'm not going back. And same with maternity bras. So much more comfortable than sports bras, so much more comfortable than your average bras, look great underneath t-shirts. This is not an ad for these products, but go to Amazon, type that bad boy in, get your size for who you are right now. And honestly, even if you're not pregnant with possibilities right now, hook yourself up. That's the end, and now it is your turn. What are you gonna get pregnant for this year or next year? Because again, you don't have to do it every single year. I do strongly believe that this year I wanna get pregnant with my third book. I have been putting that off. I wrote a proposal last year that got rejected, and I think since then I've had a really hard time getting back into the spirit of that, and it sits on my heart every single day. And I know that I have to set some really clear intentions to reorganize my schedule and to put myself in a place where I can create something amazing again. I loved the experience of putting my first book together. I loved having it out there in the world, but I've just been afraid and tentative and honestly holding on to like some toxic daily habits that stop me from being in a creative space too, right? That I know I have to get rid of. But what's yours? Maybe it's an actual baby. Maybe it's a food baby. That's okay as well too. Write it in the comment section below. And when you go down on me, make a pit stop over on the info box, because that's how you're gonna find the link to TULA.com. And again, TULA.com is a skincare and wellness brand that I have been using, but to be honest with you, it's Jared who uses up all the products there on that one. And it's going to allow you to put something on your body that you would confidently put in your body. And again, when you are pregnant, you care about those things. And I know you do. And if you do, get 15% off on your entire first order by using the promo code ShanBooty. Bye.